What's poppin', y'all? I've got another sick regional form for y'all. If you're curious as to what Pokemon Sweltering Sun is, or you want to play it for yourself, you can download it right down below in the description. All you have to do is join my Discord server. Another important thing to mention is that all of the Pokemon changes down below, all of the Pokemon changes in this ROM hack can be found down below. Excuse me, I'm bulk recording all these, so yeah, as always, there will be timestamps in the little sidebar below, and you can pick what part of the video you're more interested in. There's a little bit of intro for new viewers, and then there is also the second part of the video, which is going to be me actually showing off these regional forms to you guys, and talking about them, the thought process, all that fun stuff. And then the final part, the longest part, will be me explaining how they function in the actual hack itself, the abilities, the moves, the stats, all that fun stuff. So yeah, definitely make sure you give that a look. Also, another quick plug, there is a video down below if you're curious as to how Pokemon Sweltering Sun works or what type of ROM hack it is. There's a video explaining that down below in the description, linked. And you can also check out my streams. I stream the game myself. I've done it about 5 times now. I'm on my 5th run currently as of uploading this. So yeah, with that out of the way though, I'm happy to show off these guys. We got the Ice, Fire, Arcanine. So out of the 10 regional forms that I made, or the 10 evolutionary lines I made 7 of them, and I got help on 3 of them. But 2 of the ones I got help on from my friend, I still did like a good amount of work for them. These guys are the only ones I had no part in, and I like the way that they turned out really cool. My friend Yubi made these completely. Like, he did even the mini sprite. Normally I do the mini sprites and the shinies at least. He did the shinies, he did the mini sprites, he did the Pokemon models, the texture itself. Ice, Fire, the idea, all the ideas are mine, but like the idea came to me basically because I was looking at Pokemon that I found to be boring personally. I know a lot of people love Arcanine. I honestly think he's kind of boring, man. I don't know. He's just kind of lame to me. Very bland, in my opinion. And I thought that an ice color scheme would work really well with the design. So I was basically scrolling through. Once I figured out how to do custom textures, I was like, yo, let me look through the whole Pokedex and see which mons I want to give forms for my game. And this was one of them, because I was like, I just saw the vision of like these, the scruffy white and blue fur, and then the glowing orange stripes. I thought that was gonna look really cool, and it did. It came out super sick, because it's almost like he's got that fire like burning internally, you know what I mean? Hence why the eyes are glowing, the mouth is glowing, the ears got that little warm tint to them, and then he's got that the blue fur. I think it came out really nice. So the shiny, so I'll show you the Growlithe real quick. Growlithe is the same exact thing, it's just the same cute little color scheme. And then these shinies are actually inverted versions of them. So basically, he swapped the colors. I mean, that was technically my idea as well, but all the work was done by him for these guys. So yeah, I really like how they turned out. I can show you guys in Pokemon Refresh as well. And in battle, I'll show you all the angles. Here they are. He's pretty cute, actually. I like the way he looked around. I love the glowing mouth. It's like they've got that fire like burning internally, Give him a little bean. But yeah, very simple idea. I mean, just Ice, Fire, Arcanine, But the main cool part comes from the typing, the gameplay mechanics, the fact that it's just way more interesting than base Arcanine, in my personal opinion. I'm sure tons of people here love Arcanine. I'm sure if you clicked on this video, you'd love Arcanine. I'm not trying to, like crap on your favorite Pokemon. I just think he's kind of boring. But now he's cool as hell. I would love to use him in one of my runs one day. Yeah, I'll show him in battle real quick, and then I will get on with the second portion of the video. Oh, let me swap my view over so y'all can see the different view. Yeah, I don't know. I really am happy with how they turned out. They got really cool abilities, which I'll get into in just a second. Again, if you're interested in that, you can always just skip to the past the showcase and look at how they actually function. But yeah, no, it's pretty dope. I'll just click this funny animation just for the hell of it. But you'll notice Mudshot was neutral. That's because in Pokemon Sweltering Sun, Ice is actually significantly better offensively. Like significantly better, defensively, excuse me, defensively. I've been recording too many of these, man. Significantly better defensively. It has 4 resistances now. So Ice Fire actually has like a bunch of resistances now, because it already had some decent resist because Fire has a good amount of resist, and now you have extra ones on top of that. You got Flying, Dragon, and Ground is now neutral, and then you got Ice, which is 4 times resisted now. So that's really useful. That's about it for this portion of the video. I will switch this over again. and then I will open up the Deuce decks, and I will show y'all their their kit, their their stats, their typing, their abilities, all that fun stuff. So all Pokemon in Pokemon Sweltering Sun are kind of balanced to be versatile. So essentially, you can use them both offensively and defensively whenever you need to switch, because you have access to infinite ability capsules and instant EV training in this game. You can literally customize your Arcanine and Growlithe for every single occasion. So you can run them purely offensively. Next fight, purely defensively. Next fight, you can do kind of a blend. There's so much versatility in terms of the moves you can run as well. Pretty much every single move is buffed and changed in this game. There's a giant list of them on the Google Sheet spreadsheet down below. You can check out all of them. They're listed very nicely, for your viewing. Like, they've got categories and it's organized. It's really easy to tell, like, what's what. It might look overwhelming because I'm just scrolling through it mindlessly, but once you get like the idea how it works, it's not that hard to get attuned to it. A lot of it is pretty intuitive for the most part. But yeah, Ice Fire, pretty cool offensive combo, and like I said, actually a genuinely good defensive combo. So as you can see, I listed Resist Flying, Dragon, Grass, Bug, Fairy, and Ice. And it lost its ground weakness. And Bug is actually a very good resistance in this game because Bug was buffed offensively, and their Guzma is like a recurring boss that is very difficult on average. I mean, obviously it depends on your team always. Like that's how it goes for everything, matchup wise. But it's just nice to have that that Bug resist, 4 times Ice resist, all these nice resistances with Intimidate. You can also use the newly buffed eject button, which now functions infinitely, so you can slap that on for certain boss fights to get free pivots, or you can use it with Parting Shot if you want, or a U-turn if you want to deal some damage or break a Focus Sash or something, or a multi-scale on the Switch. But oh, I actually have some of the TMs cut off, don't I? Oops. Hold on, y'all. Have some of them cut off here. I should... Yeah, there's a bunch of them cut off. Did not realize that until just now. It's awkward. Whatever, it's not that big a deal. Whole bunch of stuff there you can see. Can like crop it better too. I figured there's no point. It's all just like to show off anyways, You can see the Google Sheet for yourself more in detail if you want in the description. But yeah, I mean the Growl that's available for it's such a fun to use because of the versatility. Refrigerate obviously functions really well with stuff like Extreme Speed. That might sound crazy in a competitive sense, it probably is, but there are this game is full of stuff like that. To the point where it's like, I mean, even just in terms of like Galvanize / Aerolite / Refrigerate / Pixelate E-Speed, there's like already a good amount of mons that do that, let alone like other stuff that's even crazier than that. Nothing too crazy. It's nice, like don't get it wrong, it's a nice, like I would probably keep Extreme Speed forever personally, unless I was like purely committing to like a mix set or a utility set or something. Its special attack is lowered. Oh, base stat total, I didn't even cover that yet. It's 575. There is a tier of Pokemon in this game I call semi-pseudo legendaries. I don't discriminate. 2-stage or 3-stage Pokemon can be of this tier, and it's not really. It's arbitrary, right? Base stat total is arbitrary in this game. All Pokemon are great, like regardless if they're 480 base stat total or 600. Genuinely, and I mean that. You can use them the whole game. But the higher base stat total lets mixed attackers have better stats. It lets mixed attackers just be bulky or faster if I want them to, and not waste stat points in its a mixed attacking stat. In this case, I didn't want to make it less bulky. And I definitely think it should be faster because Arcanine should be fast. And so I was like, all right, I want it to be physically stronger because 110 is like nice and all, but I kind of just feel like it should be stronger. I was like, you know what? Let's drop the special attack a bit. It's still really strong because it gets moves like Blast Burn, which is a fire type Draco Meteor really early. It gets Burn Up really early. It gets all types of special fire type moves really early. Not to mention your your IVs and your nature can heavily impact what type of sets you choose to run with your mons. So for example, if you get like a plus special attack nature and terrible attacking IVs, then you might want to be more inclined to run a more special leaning set. And of course you can switch what set you're running no matter what because you have access to all these TMs and tutor moves that are really good. So you can basically customize your mon whenever you want to. Certain boss fights you'd want to run special, another one you'd want to run physical, another one you'd want to run a bulky or intimidate set, next one you'd want to run Scarf, Double Edge, Refrigerate for the late game, whatever you want. There's so many different options. All right, very very versatile Pokemon, very fun to use. Even in terms of utility, besides the Intimidate, Parting Shot stuff, it's got Morning Sun for healing. It's got guaranteed burning moves that can burn the opponent. It's got Battle Cry early on, which will drop the attacking stats by -2. Also, something I didn't mention yet. The fact that Growlithe evolves relatively late That's because it's a semi-pseudo legendary, so I try to have some consistency for flavor. And this is probably one of like the hardest cases of like a mon evolving late, because most mons have like I evolve them as soon as like I think it's reasonable, but it's like most of them are pretty early. And also the pre-evolutions are buffed like severely as well, so it's like it all works out. But in this case, yeah, Growlithe is not the best Pokemon for Olivia. It would be nice to have Arcanine's extra power for Olivia to maybe get some extra kills on certain mons, but I have to be consistent with the semi-pseudo status. Because it's a semi-pseudo, aka 575 base stat, it's a 2-stage mon, it's evolving at 35. If it's 3-stage, it's evolving at 40. Those are just the rules that I enforce on myself. And I didn't want to drop any more stats to make it 550 base stat total, to make it like a quote-unquote regular Pokemon. So I figured it's fine. You know, Growlithe is still, you know, you can pivot, at least for Olivia, you can pivot on some resisted attacks. You can burn something. You know, it's got Icebreaker and Freezer Burn, which are really strong for that point in the game for Olivia. So you could definitely like put some work in, even just Intimidate on a non-rock type move, and then, you know, Parting Shutting Out is good enough. And there's a bunch of other stuff you could try out too. So yeah, other than that, there's not too much to talk about. I mean, you got stuff like Roar, which is really nice for utility for Guzma, Double Battle, and the Aether Foundation 12v12 Double Battle, because Roar is now priority with 3 PP. So you can basically say screw off to that second half of the field. Not to mention Z-Roar functions really well with Extreme Speed with Refrigerate. You can press Z-Roar, force the opponent out into a random mon, and then you get a guaranteed +2 attack boost, so it's like a riskless Swords Dance essentially. But it's very high, you know, it's high risk, high reward, because it takes a lot of, it's not high risk, but it's high commitment, high reward. You can't just like expect to click Roar and then Extreme Speed everything to death. That's not how this game works. You can check out my stream runs and see how like boss fights play out. It's not going to be that easy most of the time. Some fights you probably could cheese, but most of them you would need a lot of prior setup to get into that position where you can click E-Speed and win, or whatever you want to do with Z-Roar. Very fun mon though. I mean, it's got tons of great coverage. Even just like early game, it's got like Freeze Dry for like Totem Araquanid, and Totem Araquanid's allies like Lone Bray. It can one-shot those with Freeze Dry. Not Araquanid, the ally. It's got some good coverage, you know, even for Hala. It's got like Hoodwink for coverage. It's got Intimidate for Hala. It can switch in and maybe get some kills with Refrigerate, like Headbutt or something, or not Headbutt, Slash, excuse me. Just a really fun mon, versatile, like I said. Late game, you have those high damaging, you know, Refrigerate Double Edge is 150 base power for later on in the game. Hyper Beam and Giga Impact are absolute nukes, 192 base power, both of them. And they both function like Draco Meteor does, so essentially they'll drop your attack or special attack by 2. But that's like, I mean, dude, the second hit is like 96 base power. You could literally click that twice in a row and kill 2 things in a row for certain fights with like Scarf. But even just like switching it in, clicking Quick Claw / Choice Scarf, Giga Impact, or Hyper Beam can get you some really nice kills for late game. Obviously positioning to get in that point can be hard, and it's not always going to kill stuff, but it's still really strong. And then Strength is like normal type close combat, so that's a nice option over Double Edge if you don't want to take that recoil, but it is a decent amount weaker. Not too much weaker. It's 144 with Refrigerate, so it's not that much worse or weaker. Yeah, it's just overall very, very fun, versatile mon. You've got special moves like Overheat earlier as well to encourage those special sets. So you've got that Overheat, which is essentially special Flare Blitz at level 49. Meanwhile, you have Flare Blitz at 53, so you can kind of see like the reasoning there. Blast Burn at 44 is very early as well. Yeah, I don't have too much else to say. You could try some setup cheese with Dragon Dance. That just has that because this mon gets Dragon Pulse and Vanilla, and it's kind of like this legendary status Pokemon. So Dragon Dance fits Arcanine fine in my opinion. I wouldn't even... It fits fine to me. It's kind of a niche setup move. It's hard to justify setting up, but you can definitely pull it off. It's just, it takes a lot of commitment for sure. Early game, you can also try it like when you evolve, you get Howl. Howl is essentially Swords Dance and Nasty Plot in one move. Of course, it only has 1 PP, but it's like pretty cool for mixed attackers like Arcanine. So you can use that with, or even Refrigerate Skull Bash with the Power Herb. Skull Bash gives you attack, defense, and accuracy boost now. So you can use that. It's very powerful as well. So you can use that with Refrigerate and get a kill, and then, you know, kill the next thing with Extreme Speed if you want to position properly to bait the next thing in. I'm kind of rambling here, but you get my idea, right? Haze for Totem Tokenomaru is very nice. And Mimikyu, it's priority, so it'll just get rid of their Omni Boost right away. That's a nice utility option. And overall, I mean, it's just an absolute blast of a Pokemon to use. And a really cool form. So if you enjoyed this, again, make sure you comment, subscribe, like the video, all that fun stuff. Join my Discord server, check out my other videos, check out my streams, check out the link down below, and Yeah, I think I've covered pretty much everything here. I don't think there's too much else that I need to address. I mean, even like Snore, you could use it Refrigerate if you wanted to, because that's a guaranteed flinch. But you have to use Rest first, and it only works for 2 turns, and you have to outspeed the opponent. So there's a lot of things that like make it like it sounds crazy, but it's not actually that crazy. But you could definitely try to make that work. It'd be fun. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say. There's tons of things you can mess around with here. Lots of good coverage if you want to teach them for certain boss fights. And yeah, appreciate you for listening. I'll be back for more. Peace.